right, sorry about that. That delay. There was Twitter, basically. That's. I wanted to spend a little of extra time doing some prep work for the stream to have a more like proper modeling at the iPhone thing working up properly. And while I do think I have it working up mostly properly, I think it's I would need like 10 minutes of testing with it that I didn't actually have because I spent those 10 minutes on fucking Twitter. That's why a stream was like a minute late, and why it's like 15 minutes after the normal start time. Anyway, good afternoon, cool boy Mew, Sunseta R, Maho Suero, Richard Townley, Samatar 8006. And yeah, that's basically the gist of it. I'm pretty sure it works fine, but I'm having so much fun. Like, it's not that I'm, scrolling Twitter and being like, angry and hate things and, oh, how could people be like this? It's more like, oh, that's an interesting thing to learn. Oh, that's a cute dog picture. Oh, hey, birds. Yeah, Sunset R. The YouTube chat just be like that. If you're not like some super high-ranking guy on YouTube, they just throttle your lag like crazy. You hear too, Sukatsuta CSSR, do you? From whom and from where? Oh, I should load up a thing. Have on the background. That'll work. So yeah, this isn't gonna be like a stream where like I play video games and comment on them. This is gonna be kind of one of those weird one-off gimmick streams that I do from time to time. That aren't like quite just chatting, but they're like have a specific purpose where stuff happens. It's gonna be a something or another. Thought I mentioned Toho earlier? I mentioned Twitter. I don't know if that's Toho. If it was, I wouldn't know because I haven't finished my coffee yet either. I haven't finished my coffee yet either. I haven't finished my coffee yet either. But how do I put this? Freaking work, you dumb thing. Anyway, what is the pink thing next to the horse? That's Zoe. That's Zoe Rain from Palworld. My wife. Don't call her a pink thing, that's rude. Okay, got it, Loudon. Cool. Cool. Yeah! Yeah, I guess I could give a rough overview of like what this is even going to be about. Are we designing a 2D game or a 3D game? It's going to probably have 3D elements for like the battlefield and whatnot, but for the most part, it's just going to be 2D static images. Now let her stop being pink. Pink's cute. She'll lie to be pink if she wants. It makes her cute. Magic Killer dominate the market with yeah, totally. Coffee ain't even properly stirred. Give me a second. Did it? There's still just a bunch of gunk on the bottom. Oh well. Yeah, well. Programmers being cursed after desire the code the last game they played. Yes! Basically, Relele. And yeah, it's basically what this is. I was in the shower having thoughts, the dreaded shower thoughts, one of the most terrifying evil things out there. Gunk on the wall? No, gunk on the cafe. Gunk on the bottom. These are two different games with Samatar. This is just some dumb shit post I'm gonna knock out in like a week or two. Do I like my coffee how I like my win? Give me freshly grounded in the freezer? Yeah, they don't actually typically store my coffee in the freezer. But this is not the dating sim. This is just some dumb idea that I had that I want to knock out in a couple of weeks because of the core, like, gameplay thing. Can I stream it? It's pretty heavy, intensive. I'll see if I may as well just demonstrate what I've got so far on it. I think a couple of people would appreciate what I have. Maybe it'll crash the stream due to the GPU requirements. We'll see. And trying to optimize it down to something like good. But it is still running 2 AI things and has like a 6 GB VRAM overhead. So we'll see. Where did I put it? Why do I not have you pinned to quick access? Okay. Launching Renpi. It also takes a bit to boot right now because I don't really have the servers configured in a way that, like, is sane. Like, it's not designed to be played right now. It's designed to see if the even core concept works, because, like, I'm porting a modern large language model and a friggin' AI image generator into god dang Python 3.8. Renpi's old and it's stripped down like hell. It was kind of hard to actually get this working at all. But I do have it roughly working. Gonna have to give it a bit to boot. All right, I am seeing. All right, Gwen has loaded. Or is it Gwen? Quen 5.2-15B-instruct/quantized5/K/M.gguf. Hello, Hazmat VT. And no use, Sunseta R. Bro can't even stick his underscore where it belongs. Between sun and setter. He has to stick it on in the end. Yeah, Stable Diffusion's taking a bit to boot up, but, like, they'll probably get there eventually. Probably. Sometimes it's a bit weird about it. Anyway. Also, yes, afternoon Hazmat. I forgot if I greeted you or not. Come on, you stupid thing. You can't see anything happening. It's happening. All you'd be seeing is just like an empty, like, command window. Like, it's not something super fantastic to look at. It's just a blinking cursor while it struggles to boot up the Stable Diffusion server. I don't know why it's been struggling with that recently. Not a VRAM problem, is it? Maybe I should reverse the order of model versus... whatever. But yeah, I would like to demonstrate that I could demonstrate some of the results. Gonna go into game/CADs. Like, currently what it does is that I tell it to generate a card, and it can generate something like this. And give it the name Searing Serpent, or rather, it generates the name and then generates a creature that I think would be called Searing Serpent, and then assigns an attack power to it. That's currently all it's capable of doing. And that's not bad. Like, it can take a name, it can generate a name, and it can create a card, it can create a monster, and give it an attack power. I still haven't set up prompts for element. I've been struggling mightily to get stuff for defense working. Like, for some reason, the heavily quantized LLM is struggling. Unbelievable. Okay. All right, looks like... Oh, that's why it was taking forever. Fucking thing was downloading an update. Fuck, no wonder. All right. But yeah, there's just like weird monsters that show up. They're just low-res guard art. They're all like super generic AI crap, but like... Okay, cool. All right, it finished loading. We don't need that visible quite yet right now here. So... Gets rid of open office. Can I game capture a Renpi? No, I don't think I can. I think it has to be Windows capture. I think I already checked this. That's how I recorded the thing. Renpy. There we go. It's proper place. Here we go. I don't need to block. I need that. Okay. What game are you making? I'm only making 2. I'm only making the dating sim and this stupid thing. And this will only be like a couple of weeks. Tops. Could be like 2 years, isn't it? But yes, allow me to demonstrate what I've gotten so far on XXDie. Oh yeah, Fat Barber, that's actually part of the thing. I'm running a couple of filters on it afterwards to make them look less, how you say, AI generated. I'm still not satisfied with the results, but that's fine-tuning shit. That's like the last step. Yes, this is in Renpy. You can just hit this to click to generate cards. It is currently making calls to the LLM server, and it'll be properly warmed up in a couple of seconds. I'll probably want to pre-warm it in the final version so the load times are decreased. I'm going to spend a lot of time like trying to think up various ways to massively improve the performance of this. I'd have to like to get for every English word, and you could use that to give more fancy words higher power levels. Well, theoretically I could, but LLMs are actually capable of like semantic evaluation. And therefore, just steal art from artists, but I need to dynamically generate cards. That's the whole gimmick. Yeah, so that's the raw output from the LLM. Clearing Serpent, Shadowed Skulk, Whispering Wraith, Radiant Reaver, Crimson Cyclone, Frostbound Frenzy, Venomous Vortex, Shadowed Skulk a second time. It always does that. And then a new line with some description of nonsense. And this is what gets pulled from the output to create actual, yes, Renpy. It's the name of the engine. It is a visual novel engine. So these are the names of the 10 creatures that pulled out of the generate 10 creatures. I mean, Sunset R, this is just running on a local thing. Why Renpy? It seemed like the most obvious thing to do. And yes, you can see that it is currently generating the art for each of the monsters. And this is how long it takes for it to generate art from when it's told to generate art. And if you notice that even when I'm streaming, this is still quick enough that the load times could be hidden by the, like the fusion animation in Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. Like, this is a little bit higher overhead than running Elden Ring. I think. It might be lower. Lower in some ways. And yeah, it just... You can see in a couple of cases that the art is identical, and you might think that's an error, but no, the LLM generated the same monster name twice in a row. It generated Shadowed Skulk twice in a row. And due to the way I have it set up, the name always creates the same image with no randomness. Yes, it's all 100% slop. This is all turbo slop right now. I'll probably have something to clean it up later, but like, this is super generic, like, AI art slop. But like, it's fine. How hard it'd be? Oh, it'd be trivial. Completely trivial. This is just like the most basic generate a creature bullshit right now. I can do a shit ton of stuff to the art to make it generate anything you want. Monster PS1 monster generation using real CDs. Yeah, it's very similar to that, but rather than generating monsters just off of some random hash of the data of the CD that you look at, could I trade on Yu-Gi-Oh! Art? Not while also being able to legally distribute it, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, I'd absolutely do that. And although I don't currently have the code in place to allow for like monsters to merge, I might as well just close this down because that's pretty much all I needed to see. It can generate text, it can generate monsters. That's all that matters right now. I do, in fact, actually have a way for it to merge monster art. I just don't have the functions for that currently, like, in. I don't feel like fucking with the code right now. Let me show ya. Come on, Discord. Come on, Discord. God, I wish Discord did suck. Let's put them in here. I think I'm still using like the base stable diffusion checkpoint at this point and not switch over to like Dreamweaver or whatever the hell it was. Come on. There we go. All right. Okay. Now I can show you the thing. So, this was the result of a creature named Skeleton Priest. Where'd the other one go? Where'd the other one go? Ah, here it is. This was the result of a creature named Blackland Fire Dragon. And when testing the initial fusion, like, image formula stuff, I fused them and got this. You can see the idea of fusing monster artwork to create a new thing totally works here. Like, he's still got the skull from the left guy, there's still the moon. It's in roughly the same pose, even with one leg further back. But on the other one, he's also got, like, the wings, and the fire has moved. The fire actually held in his hand as a torch, like it was the other one. So it does successfully merge Blackland Fire Dragon and Skeleton Priest into a thing that I didn't come up with a name for yet, because I hadn't written the thing. I hadn't written actual code for merging names yet. I do have that working now. So the core idea of fusing monsters does work for names and for art. I don't have a way to generate defense stats reliably yet. Is that the horde symbol from WoW? What, here? This guy? The thing that he's carrying? I've never played World of Warcraft, as was firmly established a while back. Make yourself the Exodia of the game with your limbs and a skull and a monster you can fuse. I mean, I could. I'm not sure I want to, though. The thing that is, it looks like just a torch with a circle on it to me. Anyway. So the core concepts of fusing creatures on the fly demonstrably would work here. And that's what I've gotten done so far. The core gameplay idea functions. But that's all that's actually been planned out for it so far. Like, did I invest in my set? Probably not. I would recommend heading over to Twitch chat, because like YouTube barely fucking works. For games that help make an RPG where choices actually matter. Yes, Dusty you are. That's a core thing that I'm trying to do with this. Like, okay. In the average procedurally generated game, the way it works is that you have a consistent set of rules in a changing environment. Like, say, Minecraft, you always fall when there's nothing underneath you. You can always break blocks. Punching down some wood is going to... What if you tried to force to generate stuff with a specific art style? I could do that, yeah. There's a couple of different approaches to that. I'm planning on probably doing something like that eventually. I was considering trying to trade on my own art, but like I have to draw a bunch of stuff, and like that's more effort than I want to actually put into this stupid thing. But like stuff in like Terraria or Minecraft, you have static rules. You always fall when there's nothing beneath you. You can mine blocks. The same block always drops the same thing that's used in the same crafting recipe. But the environment you use those skills in change. Like, maybe you have to navigate a giant hole at the spawn. Maybe there's like lava on the surface. Like, I don't know. Some weird crap happens every now and again. But I'm kind of doing the opposite with this. The enemies, the order you fight them, and who they are, and what their deck themes are going to be is going to be consistent. What's going to change is the rules based on your fusions. Like, what creatures even exist within the game gets determined by your actions. So, rather than having consistent rules, it's going to have flexible Calvin Ball-esque rules mediated by a language model. While the individual core components, like, yes, this is a character whose gimmick is ninjutsu. That core component idea is, that's the part that changes. Like, the idea that the monsters themselves change based on your actions and what you do. Because I can actually set it to be consistent, completely consistent, so that combining two monsters always produces the same output. And the end result of that is that it's learnable. Random, but learnable, and there is a mastery to achieve there. And I think that'd make for a really interesting game that literally could not exist without AI. Is there going to be keyword skills like flying, trample, MTG-like stuff? That is, in fact, the plan. But I haven't actually had a chance to plan most of those out yet. Making the system as something other devs can use too? I mean, kind of. RenP games, I believe, are essentially, you can look at the code anytime you want, and all I'm doing with like the AI and text stuff is already stuff that's just under, I think it's called the Open Rail license, so other people can just take this idea and do it themselves. I'm not doing anything unique. I'm mostly assembling it in a unique way. There's no novel code ideas here. Just novel ways, there's just novel ways to put them together. That said, I'm gonna get tea now that I've mostly finished my coffee. There's still that protein sludge at the bottom. And when I get back, I will explain what I've got written down and designed for the game so far. And then I can have y'all help me plan out the rest and get your free unpaid labor. Returning shortly. I return. So, despite this being at its core literally a card game about cards where you play cards and fuse cards, I actually kind of want to pin out the mechanics themselves secondary to the story, despite the story just basically being the stupidest shit you can come up with that makes me laugh. And here's roughly what I've got down so far. It's only about a page of stuff. And I guess I could throw, I'll put that up later. I'll put it up later. It's not that super important right now yet. Or will I? Will I put it up right now? Can I put it up right now? And it doesn't really matter. Oh, I don't even think I have it saved as a PNG. I couldn't put it up right now. I'd have to do, this and save as ping. Well, I guess I'll slap it up right now. You should give us your Gmail password. Yeah, it's dongers. Go nuts. I got a really old Gmail from like before they actually required you to put any security in there, so I just kept it as dongers forever. So this is roughly the type match out chart that I've sketched out. I don't know if this is actually like the right approach to type matchups, or even if I should like have type matchups at all, but this is what I settled on. There's two loops, the mental and the physical. Each represented by its own planet symbol because forbidden memories. And also I think it's kind of a neat idea. I just kind of want to expand it so that, you know, like, what if widespread ruin counted as a fire type trap and was therefore less effective against water types, but more effective against metal and plant types, you know? Anyway, that's mostly my thinking on it. I think more is better, which is not actually generally true. When it comes to game design, there is absolutely inflation in concept. Like, just adding more classes is not necessarily going to be better. It's just going to inflate. It's just going to cause class inflation and make the individual classes less valuable. But I really like this kind of setup. The 7 and 5, I think it's nice. Anyway, oh, getting captured for. How are you getting captured? What? Good. Anyway. So, how I put this. The I've basically divided the general idea of the plot into roughly 3 distinct arcs, each of which corresponds to, like, teaching various aspects of the mechanics. In, like, Act 1, which is the starting bit, there's gonna be this whole, like, intro cutscene. Like, if you guys have... Actually, I should put on music for this. Hold on. Let me put on music for this. So it's less boring to just listen to me chatter and shadow and shadow away. How's the audio balance on that? Is it, like, enough that you can hear it? And, like, have a mood set? And not drive me out? It looks like it. Okay, cool. Type shit. S-H-I-T. What do I get? What's the prize? Anyway. Absurd, right? Sunset hour? That sounds like so much fun. Yeah, every character is named after a food from the country they're from or something. I mean, I'm probably gonna do something like that. Like, you could have a ninja named Sushi. Indian using disgusting looking monsters. That I might. That sounds like a good idea. But before we get to ridiculous international stereotypes, the basic idea of the plot outline, for those of you who haven't read or are just listening, is if you've seen the intro cutscene of Forbidden Memories where Haitian is just like looking over like old runes and like cackling madly about how he's unlocked infinite cosmic power or whatever the fuck. Imagine that, but Haitian is the main character. And instead of like in an ancient ruin discovering ancient cosmic power, it's some dork summoner in his room cackling that he has finally assembled his first deck. And how he has unlocked the potential for infinite cosmic power because now he's a proper summoner. And then, you know, the camera pans out a bit and there's like some impatient looking Yakuza guy there going, okay, cool, buddy. But like, you still are in debt for the deck and you need to pay us back for it. And hello, Fondé Resident Evil. Or Fondere Sedent Evil. Yeah, Fondere Sedent Evil. We're going with that. And the Yakuza guy has to collect a bunch of other deadbeats, and he'll forgive your debt if you take out the guys that he has to collect from. And knock off Kiryu? Oh, sure, why not? Characters. Knock off Kiryu, Yakuza guy. Isn't that just the plot of Cuphead? Yeah, basically. It's basically just the plot of Cuphead. Except it's, instead of just being some kids who got himself in trouble, it's a total dork who's doing stupid bullshit and it's all his fault. These sorts of rules, card draw breaks the game. I agree, Needles Cane. Will they have Bombadors? Lone Shark with magic shit. Yeah, Frickstock. Maybe we should put this, area setting, starting country. A hyper generic medieval fantasy setting a la Dragon Quest. Yeah, Fat Barber, that's one of the things that I want to do. I just want to make this be like really stupid in a way that makes people laugh. What Yakuza games have I played? None. Not a single one. Pompadour? Fusion of Mafia and Yakuza aesthetics. But yeah, it's just gonna be like a goofy friggin' pseudo-medieval setting. And also it's gonna be guns later on? That are like used only by Americans for no reason other than like, fuck it. Like I'm going to treat this setting with absolutely zero respect for eternal consistency and see it only as a vehicle with which to deliver more laughs without ever actually like breaking any of the rules. Because I think that creates the best settings where it's just stupid. Yeah, guns, but only for Americans, because only Americans use guns, because Americans are gun. Americans and burger. But low-key made a gang war over a cabbage farm. What? Gang war over a cabbage farm? Is this some Avatar reference with that movie that's coming out, or like something that I'm totally missing? But yeah, I need like 4 to 5 deadbeats for you to beat up and take their shit in a duel. Weren't hand cannons medieval inventions? Yes! But this is gonna be like a revolver rocket launcher quick draw type stupid thing. Like it's just a complete incoherent mash of symbols in a way that I think is funny. Power up system for a spell card. You send me discard a card to increase max power by 1. Maybe Needles Cane, but I want to focus on just having characters first. Because each of the characters is gonna like demonstrate a core mechanic, so the player has to learn it. We'll get to that in a bit, Sunset R. What I need to do first and foremost. Oh man. Is this the fucking like free dual menu theme that I spent like, no, this is the card build theme that you spend like 10 years on and I hate it. It's traumatizing music. Anyway, traumatizing music. Need to figure out like 4 to 5 themed deadbeats for you that took out a loan from the Mafia. From the Yaku Mafia. Ooh, as long as it's fun, I don't care. That is the correct attitude. Yes, that is what we're going for here. Less about like thinking hard and more about just I want the player to laugh at just the stupid crap. Because I think ultimately any sort of AI generated like fusion based card game is gonna be just inherently like totally fucking broken. I don't know what a culp is either. I assume it's like a Canadian? Like Canadian Latins panties? I don't know. I don't pay much attention to like currencies. Beating the game will reward the player with a summoning staff. I mean, beating the game, the reward is that the game is over and you can now grind a guy for the best things in the game. A gambler that goes to pachinko. Canadian character named Maple Syrup. International stereotypes for later. Deadbeat 1. Pachinko Gambler. Yes, it's a card game, and you grind new cards by beating dudes in like the game. And I think it's fine. And that's all we need. And like the final guy will just have good drops. Oh god, the fucking free duel theme. Back! Oh, I am like involuntarily in like murder someone mode. I'm reacting to this theme the way a fucking like veteran reacts to fireworks that set off his like PTSD and whatnot. Fuck. Need to kill someone. Anyway. Yes, this game's OST is my MK Ultra activation phrase. Bootleg Zodia, but instead of being OP, he's mad weak. So, like, it's just regular Zodia at that point. But, who do I put this? How do I put this? Where do I put this? We still need to come up with like 3 to 4 more, like, what are some stereotypes of dudes that owe money to either the Mafia or the Yakuza? Like, who are the people that do that? Jirai K Cutie? Maybe later. I don't think a Jirai K Cutie owes money to the mob. Gambling father. Yeah, that's the pachinko gambler guy. Like, who else? Maybe we could ask an AI about this. What does the AI have to say on this? Let's go with DeepSeek. In a story, stereotypically, what are the archetypes of the people that owe money to the Mafia/Yakuza? Guy who donates all his money to Twitch streamers. That's, yep, okay. E-girl simp who spent all his money on Twitch. Thoughts? Crazy homeless guy. Rwanda, the activation phrase is cut down the tall trees. What? Rwanda, the entire country, has one MK Ultra activation phrase? Hello, Cool Cats, welcome. I'm doing alive. Bankrupt business startup, maybe a failed carny. I got a thing that I can't see. Kai Aster, thank you so much for the follow, and welcome. Bro took a debt to donate to Mr. Beast. Oh man, I don't know about Mr. Beast. I think it would be funnier if it turns out that, like, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? Okay. He spends it all on, like, VTubers and Twitch thoughts and all of that stuff and goes into debt. And you meet one of the girls he simps for as a boss fight later. Like, that'll be a nice call back, call forward. Someone that sells tap water as karma water. Spiritual scammer is not a bad idea. Deadbeat 3, a spiritual scammer type guy. Sells fake charms. 6-year-old VTuber posing as a cute anime girl. That thought someone is gonna go into debt. That's, well, maybe they will actually with all this, with a lack of subs. It activated that really Sukosuto. Interesting, I did not know about that. 3 6-year-olds wearing a trench coat. Maybe we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, Kai Aster, they have, like, at least once. I'm just that durable. Mission giver who's an e-girl asks you to beat up her creepy sims who ask for feed pics. She might be like the tournament arc or whatever, but like that'll be later on. So we've got a gambler who went into debt, a guy who spent all of his money on Twitch thoughts. Clicked on one of those emails from Nicaragua, gave all of his money to transfer to get $1 million scam. Deadbeat 4, guy who falls for every single scam. I feel like that should be like an optional fight where you could just trick him into handing over the money. Let's see. I think it might be nice to have a couple of extras so we can cut like the least funny ones, or whatever winds up being the least funny ones. Some inventor type guy. Well, there's also a suggestion for like to have a business startup. Deadbeat 5. Inventor slash business startup slash medieval crypto scammer guy. Spent his money on money making courses. Ooh, Deadbeat 6. Card scalper. Why do I blink so much? It's dry here. It's very dry here when you don't have tear ducts. All his money at the time. Venture guy only invented things that already existed and gave them really stupid names, like invented toilet paper called butt cleansing paper. Only inventions are things that already exist. You are completely correct, Needleskate. That is a good, like, core personality thing. He's gonna only get like 5, all of these guys only get like 5-6 lines of dialogue, so you just need to really just drive home exactly what their deal is as quickly as possible. And then, you know, have them do a thing in the duel. Money investing at the wrong. DB7 gets mogged by DB5? What? Dragon Quest Builders 7? Debian 7? What? The hell is a DB? Panty vending machine 6-7. Can I ask you, we speak English here? This is not a Russian stream. I feel like 50 vending machine addict would just be the e-girl simp. You find him at a panty vending machine. So like that's how you track him down. And like there might be like light visual novel elements, like try and find guys or whatever. But it's not gonna be heavy like actual visual novel proper choices, just a little bit of gimmickry for each guy. I'm not really sure what mechanic I'd even have for the visual novel stuff, aside from like making it linear with a couple of choices. All right, looking at these. I mean, I think this is good enough for the deadbeats. I feel like we could probably combine 6 and 4. Like, guy who falls for every single scam, including getting scammed by being a card scalper. Card scalpers. Scam. Great. Gunpla Horde. What the fuck is a Gunpla? I've heard the term. Is it like Gundams that you build or whatever? Yeah, this is why I like to have extra, because you can really condense most of the traits for a lot of guys down into one thing. Yes? Okay, it's a Gundam you can build. Got it. Gundam plastic. Ah, shit. Yeah, I was thinking of doing one of those at one point, like a hand cam stream, but I decided not to. Just for the gimmickry of it. Never actually went through with it. Do we duel the Yakuza guy? Probably not in the first arc. Maybe like towards endgame, you actually duel the Yakuza guy, as he's like corrupted by evil. But like early on, he is just the guy who's ordering you around because your phenomenal cosmic power is not actually all that impressive yet with your fucking 400, 300 skull servant. You dig? You dig. Joke and feature armor where spending all his money on cocks to stay awake all night in his job so he can afford coffee. Something like that for a deadbeat. I think that's rather niche. And if he's working a jab, then he's probably already got a thing. What art style I think you should have? I don't have a real art style. Like, I just make do with what I can get done, and I will probably AI generate most of the characters and then just redraw them later on in my own style for like different expressions and whatnot. I feel like right now Pachinko Gambler is easily the weakest one, and I'm wondering if we couldn't slam in the signed up for experimental drug trials and is all mutated. Failed musician. Tries all the random drug trials for extra money with funny side effects. Musician feels like someone who's at least respectable enough to make it into the second arc. Not, you know, second act, second arc. You think this is good for deadbeats for now? These 5? A pachinko gambler who signed up for experimental drug trials and is all mutated and probably therefore relies on like luck-based strategies when you fight him, teaching like the basics of fusing monsters. An e-girl simp who spent all of his money on Twitch thoughts. Who, I don't know, maybe he just puts out big monsters and has no like card support. Ikemen host club guy? That's definitely not a guy who has money to the mafia if he's hot. So many Gundam models, even has platoons of the generic mechs. Good God. All right, so Arc 1 is basically settled. You fight those 5 guys and knock off Kazuma Kiryu. Oh man, the nice thing about AI is that I can just come up with a list of like Yakuza and Mafia tags and slap them into an image generator, and there we go. Character design. Good enough. I can't picture how a Gunpla deck would work, unfortunately. I can see the Pachinko Gambler just like randomly fusing monsters to see what happens and like to teach the player that fusions exist. The E-Girl Simp probably has a bunch of like monster support cards, like equips and artifacts. A Spiritual Scammer guy is probably one who relies on like directs, magic, counter spells, instants, all that fun stuff. Not sure about a guy who falls for every single scam, but Deadbeat 5 is probably a combo deck. Yeah, exactly, Neil's game. Each of these guys can teach you a distinct mechanic about the game and show you how it works and how you can counter it. And I think that's just like fine. I think it's just fine. Not sure how the guy who falls for the card scalper. Maybe he only has like really expensive cards, or like really rare cards. Not sure. Jirai VTuber E thought that Dead Beat 2 donated to. Cards that have big drawbacks and big payoffs? Maybe. Not a bad idea. If we have cards that do like that, that'll work fine. And hello, ya boy Akuni. So after you've collected the 5 things and paid off your debt to the Mafia, you then realize you have a debt to the landlord. You have to go win a tournament money. And you're gonna fight a series of opponents in the tournament before just like completely stomping it. Based on just like the fact that the player has infinite reloads really, and can just keep trying. And one of the opponents is gonna be the GRIK Cutie VTuber Etha, just because I think this having that call back, call forward is gonna be like a nice subtle little touch. And like you'll have an announcer who, like announcer, the Kiryu Yakuza guy's day job. Make the landlord talk about landlord who talks about evicting single mothers a lot. Fuck, I kind of want to make the landlord like a ridiculous Giga Chad whose favorite thing to do is to just like evict specifically single mothers or like randomly jack up their rents. Just like deliberately does it not because he's greedy or needs cash, but entirely for pleasure. He has literally zero reason to fuck people over, and he just does it anyway because he thinks it's funny. That should be really to karaoke. Sure. Kiryu Yakuza key trait. Bad at karaoke, loves it anyway. Takuma Tani. What the heck is a Takuma Tani? Oh, that chick. That is Gothic Lolita style. That is not GRIK. Gothic Lolita was something I was planning for like the French opponent. The one who uses like direct creature executions because off with her head. You dig, you comprehend, yes? I understand where you're going with it, I appreciate it, but I think that might be work better for a later character. Well, we'll pen that in for the International Guild part. Hakuna is a singer. Oh, okay. Is the French about it surrenders? Probably. Takuma. I've got no idea what you're talking about then. Like, triple check it and send the correct answer. I'll look it up. Okay, so we have one opponent of like the 5, 6, 7-ish guys you have to beat in double elimination tournament. Sailor Fuku Oji-san. Hey, Fuku Oji-san, huh? Oh, that guy. Yeah, I know that guy. The bald guy with like the gray hair. Yeah, I know that guy. Anyway, opponents in a tournament. You've gone from fighting on deadbeats to fighting like the small-time petty mages who have at least one thing. I think someone suggested having like a musician. Smug little kid that bought cards with parents' money. Sure. Smug rich brat who bought cards with parents' money. Have a rival, maybe every rival be a generic best girl. Maybe. It'd be hard to slot in a rival initially. Maybe he'll show up at like Act 2. The kid's angry mom. No. No, she did not sign up in a tournament. She's like ambushing you afterwards. Who else are some like mid-tier type dudes? Like, who the heck was that guy? Like the John America guy? American guy Yu-Gi-Oh! Bandit Keith, yeah, there we go. Why the fuck did I want Bandit? Why the hell did I think of Bandit Keith? Bigfoot in a bad disguise. I kinda like that idea. Bigfoot in a bad disguise, or like... I'm picturing the gorilla from God Hand. Do you know the gorilla from God Hand? Here we go, gorilla mask. I hate Google image search. It's cancer nowadays, like everything else Google does. Okay. Where'd the gorilla mask image go? The song is such a banger. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this guy. This guy is a gorilla mask from Godhead. He is just a dude in a gorilla costume and like there's a visible zipper and like no one ever comments on it. I think something like that, but for the Bigfoot idea would be hysterical. Shrine Maiden. Sure, I like Shrine Maidens. Needs glass because everything looks Cthulhu to him. Clark Kent glasses. Pretends to be human. I feel like we should potentially have like maybe up to 12 guys in the tournament, which is a lot to jam in there. And I'm kind of changing my mind on that due to the sheer number, but I was thinking each one would be themed around a particular element within the elemental system. Bear that was trained to play cards when he loses randomly mauls somebody. I mean, that's basically just Bigfoot. Like, bear in a human costume is basically the same thing as Bigfoot in a human costume, right? No reason Bigfoot can't also be very bear-like in nature. Bear's not a guy's just a bear trying to play cards. What were the elements again? I mean, I'll bring them back up. There's a lot. Yeah. How did that keep getting captured? So weird. Why is Windows Explorer getting captured? That's scary. I don't like that. How do I make that not happen? But yeah, here are the 12 elements. I feel like potentially just like having like the tournament be themed around like 7 of these in a row or 5 of these in a row, and you just have to learn how to deal with each element could be neat. I'm not sure which of these should be done though. Like the 7 in a row could work fine for like the international tournament arc. Or what we could do is have the 7 elements in the That's the Star of David? No? The Star of David is a hexagram. This is a septagram and a pentagram. Learn to count, yo. Yeah, I think the tournament themed around the first 7 elements and then like the tower being themed around the next 5. I think that would be fine, right? So we need 7 opponents. Each themed around the physical element. No, there is no 6 pointed here. There is a 7 and a 5. Oh, unless you meant on like the, not the shards themselves, but the, shapes, in which case, no, still no? Like, from top going clockwise, that's Neptune, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Saturn, no, Uranus, Jupiter. There's no the hexagram here. These are all different, like, astrological symbols. Obviously, Uranus has to be air because Uranus was the god of the sky. Jupiter has to be lightning because Jupiter was the god of storms. Neptune is the god of the ocean. Mars is the god of war, which is fiery. Mercury is literally a metal. All pissed off because no one cares about Zeus anymore. Maybe for like Greece. Like we can put that in the Greece section, like for fighting internationally. Zeus, just actual Zeus. Okay. Uranus being air made a fart joke. Shut! I don't actually know why they named Jupiter Jupiter. A good question. I don't actually know, like, who named these individual planets. I do know, like, the origin of the symbol is like how, Ceres has that weird scythe thing because Ceres was the goddess of agriculture. And like the moon is literally the moon and dark is PL combined into a single rune. It's just a basic rune bind of P and L for Pluto. Beginner to the king of the gods. Reasonable. Like, water is the trident for fishing. It's a spear and a shield for Mars for fire. God, what is the origin of Mercury's symbol? I genuinely don't remember. I know Venus is her hand mirror, and Earth is the cross rising from the planet. I really can't tell you what it is. Can't even tell you what Uranus is supposed to be. There's like an H in there, though? Weird. I think Saturn is supposed to be like an old man on his walking stick. Anyway. Back to the topic. We still need a minimum of 2 more thematic opponents. For each of the dudes. And actually, I can probably cleanly assign most of these. Give me just a second. Reorganize my type listing text file real quick. There's pattern there, add a line. Okay. So Bigfoot obviously has to be the Venus element because that's verdancy, and he's like a guy from the woods, right? That just makes sense. Martial artist opponent? Yeah, I was thinking of something like that for like China. Like, you have to come with a stereotype for China. It's obviously got to be like the old wise martial artist, right? Guy who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! And thinks that is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. That would almost be dangerously close to like insulting the player for not adapting to the game properly. I feel like that could come across as really genuinely mean-spirited if it's not handled right. I'd rather avoid that. Shrine Maiden, I feel like making her Mars because Sailor Mars was a Shrine Maiden. I mean, electric guitar, so he's gonna be an electric rocker. Smug rich brat, though. I guess maybe he would be metal? What about a salaryman? Maybe. Just a house cat, all of its dialogue is meow. That, if we're gonna do that, we're gonna have to do the Teleroboxer thing. Where... How do I put this? So in Teleroboxer, there's a secret ultra difficult like Akuma type boss who is like a super ultra mega secret final boss for beating the game with no continues, and it's literally just a cat, and that's the entire thing. You just fight a cat, and it's the hardest boss in the game. American Guy should be middle. American Guy is later on. Because these are just going to be guys being built around specific elemental themes, and then the American Guy is built around specific keyword themes. Organizes a bit. A has been trying to gain relevance. Maybe he wears bigs in the game. What? A has been A has been celebrity. Trying to regain relevance. I mean, maybe. Tell it to me. Cardinal with big undertaking, the pocket particular nerdy haircut. He's really buff for some reason. Oh, hell yeah. We can make them huge muscle nerd. Huge muscle nerd. Well, Sunsetter, that explains why you're over on YouTube if you love it when your messages don't send properly. Anyway, Wordy Nerd, what is happening is, since you weren't here at the start, I guess I'll do a quick recap. I'm making a stupid, shitty, like, clone of Forbidden Memories that generates card art on the fly for fusions, using an onboard large language model and image generator. And right now, well, I'm trying to plan out the individual characters that each tutorialize different parts of the game, and then we design the actual mechanics. Yeah, huge muscle nerd. Like the Gun Show comic. Hey, go, let me look it up. I'll show you. I understand. It's one of my favorites. This isn't the one that I was thinking of, but it'll work. Playing video games with X. Oh? Man, I wish Google Image Search still worked. Video games still work. I have to go down because our archive manually because video games because Google search doesn't work anymore. Yeah, this one. Wow, that's tiny. I need to update Wikipedia. Smash my computer. The huge nerd. That's guy. That's what we're doing with. That's him. He's the guy. The Hello Kitty BPD chick is the opponent, currently listed as opponent 1. Yurai K VTuber Ethot that Deadbeat number 2 donated to. I'll move to Twitch if you give me $5. Tell you what, you give me $5 and I'll move you to Twitch. How's that sound? A monkey is in a flash, so he has to yell at some random guy to move the cards for him? That's interesting. But I feel like it needs a bit more juice, you know? Elf, like a forest elf mixed with a Santa Claus elf, and no one questions why he's an elf. I mean, we're in a fantasy setting with like summoning and magic, so I don't think that would land quite as hard as like just Bigfoot in a Clark Kent disguise. Chinese Russian dictionary, if you know, you know. Well, I don't know. How about just a golden retriever? We currently that's just rehashing the Bigfoot joke. It's just an animal. Haha. And Santa Claus impersonate, all of his impersonated musician. The elves improve the. There's no good search engines anymore. You have to like try using like AI models to find fucking anything on the internet anymore. Thanks, Prabhakar Rikavan. Your crimes will let me annihilate the entire Indian subcontinent without a single iota of regret. Service dog to a blind girl? Elf could... what? Elfish? Elfish the musician? Prabhakar, a playable character. Yeah, sure, we can make him the Indian guy who has, like, shit-themed decks. Elfish Presley. Yeah, Elfish Presley. Santa's helper. Might be worth moving him to ice. Is ice an element? Is ice? I don't think ice is an element. I think I just have, like, water. Yeah, we don't have ice. Wind and water. Rain in a jar that uses psychic powers to move cards. Also uses big words and is annoying and pretentious. That's not a bad idea. I don't know how he'd fit in like a small scale tournament. I feel like that'd be more like one of the later. Feels like it'd be the thing that happens after the tournament. Yeah, we need to go with elements for this. Like, we could have Elfish Presciently be lightning, we could have the Smug Rich Brat be metal, we could have Bigfoot be verdant, Shrine Maiden be fire. Or that just leaves us with the unassigned of... that? No Uranus and no Neptune. We still have to assign those 3 to the tournament somewhere. Zambi? Zambi definitely feels like an Arc 2 type guy. Or maybe like an Arc Final. I guess Huge Muscle Nerd could be Earth? Who the hell is a Charlie Chaplin? Charlie Chaplin. Some old-timey guy with a bowler hat? English filmmaker. Maybe like the international stereotypes like the British guy. No, Wise Talking Tree would be Verdant, which is Bigfoot. Because Earth and Plant are different. For Neptune, Olympic swimmer that's branching out. Think of Bud Spence could mentor character. That would make the Jirai K VTuber win. That'd also make the Olympic swimmer guy like the final tournament boss guy. I don't know if that's right. That doesn't feel right. If anything, I feel like the Jirai K VTuber he thought being, well, no, her being the final boss and therefore actually good at something instead of just like a loser who postures online to milk men for money. Her being like the final one feels wrong somehow. Like, it feels like she should be kind of a failure. You know what? I'm gonna ask DeepSeek what it thinks about elements. I'm curious if it has better ideas than me. Which one most closely aligned? Japanese Shrine Maiden. A boomer that likes fishing stereotype with a wife he hates. That's not bad, actually. Yeah. Oh man, he could have the shirt. Oh my god, the shirt. Here we go. The shirt. Undead George Washington would be like America for late game. That's not a tournament guy, you know? No, there's no like women fear me or fish fear me. There's supposed to be a women fear me, fish love me, women fear me because I fuck the fish. But due to a misprint, it's just because I fuck the fish. And that's it. That's the entire shirt. The entire shirt is I fuck the fish. I'll probably replace it with like 4 X's. But yeah, a boomer fisherman. Yeah, that's water. Boomer fisherman who wears a because I the fish shirt with the stupid fishing meme hat. The legendary shirt, cool boy, meow. And I'm gonna check out what DeepSeek has to say on it. Okay, yeah, no, DeepSeek says, yeah, fire's probably best. Gonna ask it about a huge muscle nerd. Like a guy who accidentally destroys his whole keyboard and desk when updating Wikipedia by pressing a key too hard. Top 10 best fish on I don't know how I'm putting that in there, but we're putting that in there. Also says Mars for him. A self-important chosen hero type seems like a good thing to slap on the British, if I'm being honest. Also make him like really poor but think he's wealthy. Like that'd be a great British stereotype guy. British knight who thinks he's the chosen one main character despite being poor and unimportant. British 2. Stereotypical British explorer type. Yeah, it says aside from Mars, probably go with Stone, so I guess we'll just make the huge muscle nerd Stone. Give him Labyrinth Wall and shit like that. So I guess by default, the JIK VTuber E-Thought has to be Uranus? I mean, that kind of scans. VTuber whose element is her anus? That, yeah, I mean, why else is she getting, like, Twitch subs, right? Those hot tub streams. Okay. So. After winning the tournament, a mysterious guy who's probably going to be like the rival type character approaches you and like invites you into the secret organization of people who are pretty good at children's card games. But to prove that you deserve to entry and like that you'll get a job and get paid and not have to worry about rent, you have to beat like a couple of guys in a tower. Gonna be the first instance of not having just like saves between each duel. Yeah, Uranus is a pretty solid name for it, actually. Name Uranus. Round wind somehow. So we need to come up with a name and like design and overall appearance for the rival type guy. In my head, the main character is like a gender swapped Tomoko, but like buff. There's a convention for the game and everyone is just a nerd stereotype with evil robes. They're not evil. They're just like, it's an international dueling thing. Like the Children Card Game Professionals. It'd be time element in the tower thing. True. Yeah, let me just copy paste the elements I need to worry about for this. I'll leave the rival type the character up there. I'll put this down to page 2. What is the opposite of a male Tomoko? Robot addicted to heroin. About his feelings, it's like... It feels pointlessly edgy more than funny. And I'm trying to go for extremely goofy rather than, like, extremely dark. Or, like, so dark you laugh. It's totally inconsistent, I'd say. The heroin addiction part. Like, sticking a robot in a medieval setting, like, fucking sure we'll do that. We're not putting Snowflame into this game, all right? We're not doing that. And for those of you who in chat who don't know who Snowflame is, he's a Canadian, canonically real, actually exists, Marvel or DC Canadian supervillain who's powered by crack cocaine. Wouldn't that be like someone who looks like Elle from Death Note? Yeah, basically imagine Elle from Death Note, that's the main character. What is his opposite? Light? Gender bent light Yagami? Like, if... That is a question that I would want to ask Twitter, I think. Chessmaster is an interesting thought, yeah. That's more black edgy humor than like goofy, silly humor of like Bigfoot in a disguise. Or Boomer Fisherman. It's more politicized than I'd like for the tone that I'm going for. Student council type? Maybe. Student council type, used time traveler, but we need like more. What is he confused? Like, what is his deal? Typo? Oh, student council. Yeah, right. That's instead of say. I knew what you meant. It's fine. What is the opposite of a gender bent Roki Tomoko? I kind of want to get more tea and like walk around for a bit. I don't actually need more tea, so I'm rolling out to like drink a little bit off screen, but I do want to like kind of get up and walk around a bit. So I'm going to do that. I'll be back shortly. I just want to move around a bit. I return. Oh, wait. I forgot to adjust the mic boom arm. Now I'm back normal. Okay. Dorcas came back, ran off for some corporate thing. Glad I missed it. Sounded annoying. Based. Middle-aged can be a woman. That's the world's greatest liar. Middle-aged woman looking for friends. Counterpart, so to speak. What do you mean? Middle-aged woman looking for friends is my counterpart. What? The hell do you think I am? Looking for friends? I'm looking for money! Stop being ridiculous. Oh, that's a lot of chatting. I have to scroll up and say, alright, hold on. Hold on. Oh man, it's still going. Good. Lord. Super feud by heroin. Someone that looks like L from Death Note. Chessmaster, 1920s flapper. That kind of Black Hose rubber cartoon. Time travel confused because he time traveled too much, but he knows where he is and all the history running together. Skeleton who is a cop for law. Wouldn't a skeleton be like Shadow? Because like that's what Shadow means. It's like the undead element. Depressed bounty hunter, angry wizard with giant nose, whale raccoon from Moon, 3 goblins in a trench coat that cheat at card games, dark elf who is obnoxiously positive and friendly. That's kind of tempted, actually. Bloody Jerry Sonic OC tomboy embarrassed about her name. Shadow Damine Yakuza guy also because opponent's third job. I feel like the Yakuza guy just like constantly showing up. I think I have to make the Yakuza guy like the horse. The horse from Yushiga Shinda. So, for those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I've never read Yushiga Shinda. 1, go read it. It's amazing. 2, there is a horse in that manga. Basically, at one point, a character escaped from a situation that he shouldn't have to show up later, and a bunch of fans went like, what? That doesn't make any sense. How did he escape from that? And the writer was like, horse. Yeah, that horse that he was with, that horse managed to wall run straight up the castle wall and get out of the explosion in time. And he just went with that. And from then on, whenever a plot hole happened, the answer was a horse did it. Like, everyone's having a meeting on the airship, and then people go like, wait, if we're all here, then who's piloting the airship? And then it just cuts to the horse with his hooves on his steering wheel. And it's just like a recurring gag where whenever you need a convenient explanation for what happens, it was always the horse. I think we might do that with the Yakuza guy. Whenever we need a convenient explanation for why something is happening, it's the Yakuza guy. That's just one of his jobs. How many jobs does he work? As many as the plot needs him to. Yakuza guy works every job needed for the plot. He is the wizard that did it. Gelatinous cube, dryad hippie, sunburst man for sun, morbidly obese sheriff of Nottingham knockoff, Wordy Durd's back from lunch, confused chatter, transformer that can only change into a robot office water dispenser, rich man cover in ring who eat gingerbread man. What? Kunibyo type that's all edgy and wears bandages. I feel like you'd also have to be an undead, but like a lame and embarrassing kind of undead. Like, imagine one of those mummies that moves with all stiff arms so none of his like cool poses work. And the bandages are literally because like he's holding himself together. And he's really embarrassed about it. I think that would be great. Like the main character is already kind of a chuny. But like just cranking that up to like all the way. Power 3. Chuny mummy. Ooh. Oh, had another thought. Marin Kitagawa. Like, I feel like if you merged Light Yagami and Marin Kitagawa, you would have the ideal character as the rival character to a male Tomoko. Shuni Mummy, who can't do cool poses because his joints are all stiff from being undead, but tries anyway and looks like a total dork. Shady lawyer, a normal looking dude named John. Literal T-Rex. We already did the literal thing joke. Can't keep doing it. Jokes don't get funny when they're repeated. Batman that is half man, half bat and gets really annoyed when he's a Batman fan. Isn't that, like, Bat Boy from the National Enquirer? Brazilian Mario knockoff. Name is Pablo. Gonna have a P on his hat. Short guy who's really into yo-yos but has a hard time because he's so short. Cyclops who tries to wear sunglasses intended for people... Pirate Cyclops who wears an eye patch. Just the one eye patch. Still on walkies, wish I was still on walkies. Hopefully sneak back. Anthropomorphic dog with pet human. Already did the literal guy, the little thing joke. Moon illusion makes me think Windows screensaver. Don't ask me to elaborate. Wordy elaborate. Illusion from YouTube chat. Hag. Cross-dressing femboy type for illusion. That kind of attracts the most annoying fan base possible. Hello, Hassan Matar. Cosmic fifth dimensional being who is just 3 floating lights. That's like... We should make that like a Jarek shopkeeper type guy, I think. Minister of Bones is looking for Bone Girls. What? No S2? What? How's it spelled? Yushiga... Oh, there's no S2 versus Yushiga Shinda. Yeah, unfortunately. How's it spelled? Yushiga Shinda. Yes, Karanovsky has it. Legendary hero is dead. In my opinion, the single greatest and most satisfying ending in all of manga history. Because, like, the man's entire life story is that he is a pervert with a specific fetish, and he saves the day through the power of having hundreds of women doing his specific fetish at the same time. And, like, that's the perfect story ending. It's his whole character trait brought back the most meaningful way possible. Reference how much you hate trench warfare. I'll beat you with a shovel. I'll kill you with a shovel as a reference to trench warfare. Extremely fashionable bird. I feel like the rival should be light. Like, where you try to just merge Light Yagami and Marin Kitagawa into a single character. Pick whichever gender that comes more, like, appealing as. And have them be light. I think that'd be a good thing. Because, like, the main character, like... Fuck, what was that doujin called? So, there's a specific doujin that was really popular among chicks for a while, despite it being intentionally male-oriented. About, like, this dude with his hair over his one eye who was, like, a failed writer who couldn't make rent and had to live in a haunted house. And, like... It was very similar to a male Tomoko. And that it's sort of like an idealized loser. And I kind of want to do that for the main characters thing. So having, like, the rival be, like, the good guy, I think would be great. The tower final is the rival who's light. Pokebox and his Pikachu knockoff plays the cards. We only really have a physical description of Tower 1. I feel like this guy would have to be, like, illusion, right? It's like psychic powers or whatever. And I'm not really sold on confused time traveler either. It just seems kind of meh. Tower 4. Still need blah. The really buff guy with a ghost woman that's really thick. Yeah, that one, Mahusuero. Because that kind of really buff is like what women think of when they think of like broke loser. Like below average broke loser because women are just ruined forever. At least within a lifetime. How many towers do I want to put? There is 1 Tower of Trials. And need to have 5 total, 1 for each element. But yeah, it's like the really buff guy who's supposed to be just like an average rundown loser. But yes, you know the one, Mahoswara. I don't normally read dojins, but apparently there was a lot of pull for that particular one, and I was interested in taking character design notes. And I know that sounds like a convenient excuse, but like, really. That's what it was. I feel like taking that guy and making him slightly less buff, and like cranking up his like social awkwardness a bit, and then you have the main character. But like, not even make him like super scrawny. Just like only slightly buff. What if the illusion guy is just your foot horse? Not my foot horse. It's Iguana Mouth's foot horse. I did not invent the foot horse. Someone else made the foot. And a foot horse doesn't make much sense for you. How about maybe we just leave this for now? Using illusion to keep his feet sensitive. That's still not illusion. That'd be verdant, because like animals in nature. I don't know. I think we should like leave character design for now. What the hell is a foot horse? I'm glad you asked, NetJet Michael 64. Let me show you the foot horse. You are now forced to endure the foot horse. This is the foot horse. It's a horse with human feet that I've politely censored to leave more to the imagination. And because like no one wants to look at the foot, right? NetJet, you don't want to see like the full uncensored foot horse. You just want to not have to like look at the foot horse. You just want to know what it is. Am I right? You don't want to have to look at this. Nobody wants to look at this. Make the foot horse a point thing? What? If anything, the foot horse would be like a monster. But yeah, that's the foot horse. Oh, point iridium. Multiples. Yeah, I could just have it like gradually fade in and then play with like the Gutsman's ass and just have like circles appear at the feet. I need to look into like having actual proper Twitch alerts. I don't know how they actually work. I've just inherited them from someone else. But enough about the foot horse. What I think I kind of want to iron out now is like the actual rule set. So, quick refresher. I mentioned that this game is going to be modeled after Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, and there's no wrong answers here. What do you assume happens once you've played a monster? Like, what can you do with it? What are you able to do with a monster after it has been played from your hand onto the field? Like, even the most obvious answers here, like, you can attack with it, are correct here, okay? Monsters. Attack and or defend. Inherited from someone else? I don't think monsters inherit from someone else. I think you might be... oh, you're talking about inherit? Yeah. Yeah, the previous me. That doesn't basically exist anymore. But has like a very similar personality. Attack if they have the case keyword. Only attack turn 1 if they have haste. Sure, we can do that. See a 3D of it. That's unfortunately not going to happen. There are AI that can generate like 3D images of a... Or so 3D models of a 2D image. But Those I don't think can run on local GPU. They're just way too heavy. We'll just change it to fast or whatever. I don't think haste is going to be copyrighted by, like, Wizards of the Coast. And if they do, I'll just be like, fine, I'll just change it to, like, a synonym. Quit being a bitch about it. Can be sacrificed to gain something. So, I want to expand a bit on this attack or defend thing. And answer the question, what does attacking with a monster mean? Like, you pick it, and then what? You pick a monster or monsters, so you attack with all... Okay, that's a further thing to decide. In the attack step, do you attack with one monster, or do you attack with all monsters? Deal damage to the thing that you want to deal damage. So you think you should pick the monster and its target? Because I was also thinking potentially in Magic the Gathering that you simply pick attackers and then the target that your person that you're attacking picks their defenders. I guess we really gotta hash out, how does attacking work on your turn? You attack with all monsters and marks a certain special can either target either the player or defending monsters. Defender chooses blocks if they want you to protect them from attacking directly. Explain a bit on that. Select a 3/5 to get a total of 1500 attack to defeat 1000 monster. Yeah, that's what Magic the Gathering chump blocking is what I'm thinking. Yeah, like an MTG. I don't think... Yeah, monsters have an HP stat that doesn't heal unless you cast a spell to heal it, so little guys can pick up a big guy and heal it. Do we want HP to never restore? Because in Magic the Gathering, HP restores at end of turn. Probably make upkeep come back on, like... I don't know. Upkeep, maybe? So I think for attacking, what it sounds like to me, maybe this is my own biases, you pick attackers, pick target player, player picks defenders and assigns them. That's unreasonable? Certain attackers can... What does attacking even mean to attack and defend at the same time, though? Like, what does attack mean? What does defend mean? You can't just say attack and defend at the same time, because those words are hyper-ambiguous. Like, do you mean, like, on your turn, like, after attacking, they, can't block? Or what? Actually, that might be interesting. What if monsters in attack mode could attack, but monsters in attack mode could not block? Attack doesn't mean try to hurt the enemy player. Attack is with a special keyword like hunt can directly attack an energy monster instead of going for the player. Okay. Keyword hunt. Monster can choose its blockers. That's an interesting keyword. That's a good thing to have. We're gonna have an enemy that has hunt then. Like a guy who's built around having hunt. Enemies in attack mode cannot block. Enemies in block mode cannot attack. This means if on turn 1 you just dropped a Meteor Bee Dragon and just put it in attack mode and swung, the opponent could, next turn, simply ignore it and just attack you directly. Monsters should not heal on their own unless they regenerate, so they'd bear down a big guy or little guys. Think of a healing spell to restore all HP to monster. There could be, but I think that adds a lot of mental overhead. I think just having a deal this much damage in a combat step is simpler. Bunch of monsters in attack mode instead of enemies. A monster could intercept attacks. That would only interact with the hunt keyword, though, wouldn't it, talking object? Because by default, the defending player chooses what to defend with. Anyway, as for visuals, I'm probably just going to have a handful of pre-programmed visual effects per, like, element they're attacking with. Feral Keeter can only attack player and must attack every turn. I mean, Feral is must attack every turn is... Would that work? When can you switch a monster between attack and defense mode? Pre-battle phase? Which between attack and defense when summoned and in battle phase. Monster. There's a ninjutsu thing that I specifically wanted because I wanted to stick a ninja in here because like ninjas are cool. Monster can join combat after blockers are declared. Basically, against the ninja guy, he would swing in with like one guy, and then you'd like jump block it with some other like token creature or whatever. And then he would slap down a ninja, and the ninja would just swing after the jump blocker happened. I think when assigning damage, damage gets assigned from lowest to highest. As birds as possible. But this kind of runs into a non-interactivity issue, doesn't it? Like, say you've got a big monster on the field, right? Or the opponent does? And like you really need to kill it, so you swing in with some stuff. If it's in attack mode, it can't like defend and you can't remove it. And block hunt attacks for other creatures. Eh. Hunt attacks and like things having keywords at all is going to be more on the rarer side, because simply having hunt adds at least 2 interaction costs to the attack step. And that slows game down and destroys game feel, which is why I don't want hunt to be common. User stats are increased in exchange for dying next turn. That's kind of complicated. Like, maybe stats go up when alone? I'm still trying to get back to the non-interactivity issue, because like if they have a big creature and they just leave it in attack mode, you, the player, have no way to get rid of it with your monsters? Except by having something big in defense mode. Like, there's just no interaction with things that are... If both players just have big things in attack mode, they'll just exchange direct hits? I don't know if I really want to go with this. I don't think I should start planning on shorter streams on Wednesdays, because for some reason I'm always like super tired on Wednesdays. Always feeling kind of drained. Not sure why. I guess I could potentially like play test this. Paragon special abilities are pushed to the max. What does that even mean? Like, what special abilities and what does max mean? Bro out here acting like an LLM. Just putting words that sound good together. I'm trying to mentally map out how interaction in combat should work. Like, can two attack things? Maybe things that are in attack mode can be used to defend? I don't know, I'm really struggling with this. I feel like I need to consult with a TCG expert or something. Like, I know you think that Needles game, but again, think about the situation where both players just have a Meteor B Dragon out on the field. They're just gonna make direct swings at each other's life points the entire time. And that's it. That's all that's gonna happen. Well, what if monsters only had one number, which was both attack and life? But it was life in defense mode and attack in attack mode. Like, you just have a 6, and that's your stat. Your stat is a 6. You're a fire 6. This means when you attack, you have 6 attack. When you block, you have 6 block. You can take 6 points of damage when blocking, or deal 6 points of damage when attacking. That way, whether it attacks or blocks is a meaningful decision. Subsequently, this means realistically, if you put a Meteor B Dragon in defense mode and he put his Meteor B Dragon in attack mode, if he swung at you, you'd both take 6 damage. Or rather, both creatures would take 6 damage, and they both wipe each other out. I guess this is ultimately... Do keywords need to have negatives to them? No. Keywords just need to be interesting to use and, like, possible to program. Yeah, I guess they have one stat. Used as attack or as life damage when defending. That simplifies combat down a lot. And like one of the stupid things in Forbidden Memories is that like all the time monsters would just like have one position that they should always be in, and there was basically never a benefit to putting them in the other one. Because just one was always higher. And it also meant that beating over things would be more difficult. Like, it is more quite literally about beating over stuff rather than, like, complex whatevers. And that actually makes Defender suddenly make a lot more sense. Defender. Monster is always in defense mode. Can be summoned face up or face down, but get revealed the moment they are targeted by anything. Yeah, and they could trade, and they both get wiped out. And if you had like a 2, a 1, and a 1, then it would start from the lowest and go upward, which means he would lose the 2 1s, and the 2 would take 1 damage but survive. And when I say targeted by anything, I mean something that's like, destroy all dragons on the field. I think that would count as being targeted by, and therefore would have to be revealed, because that just makes sense informationally. Okay, I guess that's a core system that's in place. How many types there should be? In terms of creatures, there won't actually be types. They'll be decided at runtime by the LLM. So whether or not Catapult Turtle counts as a gun is going to be up to the LLM. But due to the way I've set it up, it'll always be consistent. So Catapult Turtle will never be a gun or will always be a gun. It'll be very Yu-Gi-Oh! The anime rule set. Wait a minute, this isn't Wednesday, this is Friday. God, I am tired of him thinking today's a Wednesday. Good God, all right. Whether that thing counts as a human or a dragon or a giant is based entirely to the whims of fate. What if I have kill all dragons and a meteor black dragon is a turtle? Then something went wrong somewhere. Because I'm pretty sure the average LLM would, if asked, is meteor black dragon a dragon, would say, yes, obviously it's a dragon, it has dragon in the name. The model of music doesn't have particularly strong reasoning, but it's enough that it understands the word dragon means the dragon. You comprehend, yeah? In another situation, it might also count as a turtle. But like that's where the LM to design. It's just how it goes. It'll always be consistent, but it'll always be stupid. But I think the other thing that I really want to decide, better card game out of Spite Forbidden, more or less no X-Fall. I'm making something that has like the Forbidden Memories fusion system, but rather than having a dozen predefined things, it dynamically generates fusions using AI. And I think it's neat. to do something like that. I think that's cool. Like, I can point up, I can actually pull up an example in OBS right now of how it works. So, this was a generated monster named Skeleton Priest. And this was a generated monster named Blackland Fire Dragon. And when I asked the AI to fuse them, this was the result. You can see it's got like a skull head, it's holding a torch like the other one is, it's in roughly the same pose, it's a mix of like dragon and skeleton. It's got the moon from like the Skeleton Priest one. And that's the core mechanic in a nutshell. And it will on the fly generate new names and new card artwork and new stats based entirely on whatever results. It's like Black Skull Dragon. Exactly! Like if you combine like Black Dragon with Skull Knight, you'd get actual Black Skull Dragon. Like that's literally just how it can do that. It can just handle that. It can play by the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime polymerization rules. And that's the core thing that makes it unique. You can use an LLM as a GM to simulate the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. Two women making a man with a guitar? What? The fuck are you talking about? Huh? Ooh, rot is an interesting keyword. Rot. Damage does not heal at end of turn. Lowers stat accordingly. Yeah, you're gonna have to give me like a name or something because I don't believe you. All right. Yeah, the one thing that I want to decide before we end stream is magic cards. I think I have enough on monsters to get like a prototype going. So my question is, what the hell should non-monster cards be able to do? And how should they work? Like, I think equips that raise number probably makes sense. Equips raise number. Oh man, I think actually just calling the stat number is going to be the funniest shit ever. Like, raises the monster's number. Like, just literally calling it that. Not raises its attack, not raises its defense, raises its number. Oh, that'll be funny. That'll be funny as fuck. But what are the non-monster cards, and what do they do, and how do they work? Keyword Black and Chinese, user can Black and Chinese. That's one of the later fights. Not like a thing. Equipment doesn't die. That's an interesting thought. Equips raise number. What happens when a thing that is equipped with an equipment dies? What happens to the equipment? Does it return to hand? Does it go to like its own play zone, the equipment zone, the spell zone? It can be equipped to a new monster. Sure, what happens before then? Also, due to like game flow things, I'm gonna want to make it heavily just like automated, like this thing just does the thing. Goes into equipment zone. When equipped monster defeated, equipment goes to spell zone. Hey, Sunset, we're just hashing out the mechanics. The monster that killed it can acquire the equipment. That would easily create a runaway snowball effects, where like one player just gets behind and can never catch up. That'd be a really interesting keyword, though. Treasure hunter. Equip the equipment of defeated monsters. Hello, Garagusto. Yeah, I'm working on a stupid Magic the Gathering like, Yu-Gi-Oh like. For giggles and shits, it'll be hopefully be a relatively short game. They're only making like a week or two. You still do the... I just talk like this, man. This is just what I sound like. No, treasure hunter for equipment stealing. Not a thief, he's a treasure hunter. Fire emblem code with card abilities. Fascinating. So equips are going to be one of the non-monster card types. What are the other things? I feel like there's just going to be... We can call them sorceries, I guess, for now. Where you can just cast them. Am I Dracula? No. No, I was just born with large fangs. Like, that's just a thing that we have. Well, we have. Family has. Got big old nasty looking chompas. Environment type boosts stats. That's not a bad idea. Environment cards. When played, all creatures of X elements gain number. Others lose number? Whatever the monster with treasure hunter always had equipment, killing the monster. Then it equips both. Like, in Forbidden Memories, theoretically you can slap like 3 Megamorphs, 3 Dragon Treasures, and like... technically up to like 5 Dark Energies onto a single monster. So theoretically, I mean, they can become stronger up to the number of cards in your deck. Only with an environment that costs more. I don't know about that. Overwrite an environment seems fine. Wonder if you could make additive environment. We can fuse environments. We can just fuse in. Oh my god, that is the coolest fucking idea ever. Holy shit. So I already have the code for combining monsters into new monsters. If you play plains and they play flood, you could turn plains into flooded plains, which will have its own effects determined by the language model. Environment cards fuse, e.g. plains plus flood equals flooded plains with effects controlled by LLM. Hey, making it unpredictable, like random stuff is gonna be bad. Like, cards are already random enough in the order that you get them, but having like fused... But you want it to be a bit more predictable. Just don't random, just pure randomness is less good. Never actually leave. Just add. World Eater, destroy environments and gain stats. That feels more like a sorcery. Just destroy environments. How do sorceries work? Like, right now you can just play whatever things you have in hand with a mana of hand size and just drop them. Comes into play, destroys all the environments, gets stat boost. That feels like a really particular gimmick card for like the final boss or something. Like, that's a very specific effect. That is a level of complexity that an AI would struggle with. Would have something in exchange to use it. What realistically could be exchanged? Because the only resource players have is hand size. We could maybe make it mill cards, like remove cards from library as a cost. Maybe inactive for a turn or two. Turn delay is a resource cost potentially, yeah. They work better as a keyword though, I think. Delay takes effect X turns after being played. Monsters can be cost if you have enough mana. Mana is controlled by the number of cards in hand. So you can never play anything that's more than 5 mana without, like, cheating. Well, that's fine. Should sorceries, or spells in general, above average gaming, be something that you can play on your opponent's turn, or should it only be on your turn? Blood tax. Mill X cards play. Can do both? And I guess? Do you think sorcery should generally not be playable on the opponent's turn? I'm not sure I actually want to have things sorceries. I don't think I want to instance like counterspell in the game at all, because those always feel kind of ass to get owned by. And it's going to be exacerbated by AI opponents with deliberately unfair decks. Only on your turn. When fused with monster, result still sorcery, but sorcery's harder. I like the thing you can do. I like how in Yu-Gi-Oh! You can play traps and magic cards face down. I like that. I think seeing that the opponent has a face down card in their spell zone would inspire a lot of fear. I do love people feeling fear. It's hilarious. Like, just watching their face down card and wondering if it's going to be Sparks that deals 200 damage, or, like, Raigeki, which annihilates your entire field, and just having to be anxious about it. I think that'll be great. Repaired spell zone. What if they'd be played face up? Played face up in Magic Zone. No, because then that'll add a bunch of interaction costs. for like the player to try to interrupt with like lightning bolt. That feels kind of ass. I think I'm just gonna go with traps. Played face down. Automatically activate when condition. No player controls the trigger, it just happens. I feel like enchantments are also a good thing to have. Yeah, quick play stuff normally interacts on an opponent's turn. That creates interaction costs, though. Like, you know how you have to have, like, those stupid reminders in, like, whatever the heck the board game Yu-Gi-Oh! Is called? Like, you know, do you want to respond with effect in the chain? I'd rather avoid that. I don't think that's particularly fun inherently. Like, it would be fine in a real card game. This is a video card game, so it's probably best to not have it. Silence keyword, removed keywords from target permanently. That's less a keyword and more like a spell effect. Anyway, the resource system is hand size. Ugh. The game has no draw power by default. It could be on a monster? I mean, sure, it could be on a monster. But, like, should it be? If so, wouldn't that just be, like, a specific monster effect rather than a broad keyword? And even then, trying to, like, negotiate that seems like it'd be kind of a pain. I could make it happen. How many cards do you get per turn? You draw 1 card per turn. And you can play up to as many cards as you have mana. And your mana is the number of cards in hand. So if your entire hand is filled with 5 costs and you have 5 cards, you can play 1 of them. If your entire hand is filled with 1 costs and you have 5 cards, you can play all 5 of them. But in either case, you will still only draw 1 card per turn. I think I also want to, yeah, I do want to have, like, world enchant, I guess enchantments, just in general. I might have to revise them later. Go in the magic zone. Have an effect that applies. Last forever, I guess. I think this is enough card type. Like, I can't think of anything else that would be necessary. Interesting also seems like it could lead to either needing a fast-paced game or you have an issue with long bouts of turn pass issues with top decks always exciting games. Yeah, I think that was game. That's actually kind of the point. Fast pace is the goal. Similar to how in Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, NPCs are scripted to always start with their biggest monster in hand. Enemies in this are designed to do their big thing turn 1, and then the rest of the game is you trying to come back from it somehow. You know, fusing monsters, like getting equips, all that fun stuff. Because I think that gives a stronger sense of personality to the monsters. Most times coming back from it is just building a better deck. I mean, I'm thinking more like in like Haitian, he drops like Gate Guardian or whatever. Or Seto 2 when he drops fucking Blue Eyes Ultimate. Rather than simply like losing, you have to like drop a Raigeki or a Widespread Ruin or put a bunch of Megamorphs on a big creature and beat over it. That's what I'm going for in terms of gameplay. They do their big thing turn 1, and you have to figure out what you want to do. That's why I want the player to be as powerful as possible turn 1, because Seto Third's identifying trait is that he drops a Blue Eyes turn 1, and it firmly builds an image in the player's head of that asshole with the blue eyes who just uses really strong monsters. And I think creating that sense of identity through having them be powerful as soon as possible to get their deck off is closer to what I want from gameplay. So less card game, more puzzle game, kind of? Puzzle game where you can trick the AI into letting you cheat, basically. That's the thing that makes it weird and different. The rules are dynamically generated, but the environment itself is static. Like, enemies will always have their same gimmick with specific cards. Keyword support, the user can buff into teammates. I mean, that would probably be an enchantment rather than a creature, right? Oh, I guess I can see it. I mean, will the AI be readable? Define readable. Do you mean like looking at the LLM output directly? Not generally. And hello! I hated hose. I hated toes. I hated hose. I hated Jose. I hated those. There we go. I hated Jose. There we go. That's the most wrong way to pronounce it. Other creatures plus X. Anyway, I hate Those. I'm pretty sure I disagree, Hassan Matar. I think that's your opinion, and you're allowed to have that opinion. It's just the wrong opinion. Trial and error, would they be visible characters? You can play against the actual tells for how they would play. I'm still not sure what you mean by AI in this situation. Do you mean like the language model that decides how cards interact? Because that will be determined by like whether or not the card interacts. Like, you know how Yamatano Dragon Scroll counts as a dragon and like Mystical Sands counts as a woman? It's like that, but the AI decides typing matchups for that on the fly. Hello, the silly mantis. What do you mean what happened? Did something happen? Is the stream down? I don't see no drop frames. Okay, I think these 4 card types, monster, sorcery, no, 5 card types? 6 card types. Let me just write them down so I know what the hell I'm doing. Monster, field, sorcery, trap, enchantment, equip. So 6 card types. But I think that'd be fine. Like how the character will respond to your plays against them? You mean like the decision-making process that opponents have? I mean, they each have a specific gimmick, like playing fire-type monsters or playing water-type monsters. Is that what you're talking about? Or like how some decks focus on having like lots of specific types of cards. I'll probably want to have more keywords later, but this is probably fine enough for now. I think overall I'd call this good enough. Yeah, I sometimes get baited, which can give you more time to find the thing, but knowing who does and doesn't in FM was learned over years of trial and error. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna have like the enemy like decision making rather than separate from AI, because AI is a very ambiguous term. Samatar talking about, what was it? Delay. That's what delay does. But yes, I do plan on just having the opponent like decision making process do specific things. Kills monster when it deals damage. I mean, I guess. I mean, that's just death touch. Kills monsters, it deals damage. But yes, because the enemy decision making is programmed, they would do that. Like, it's always learnable. Even AI is learnable, it's just less learnable. AI as in like LLMs and image generation. Are there chance-based one-shot moves? No. Effect of a card, multiply the cards, play that turn. Blah, that's way overcomplicated. That's too much mental overhead. This is designed to be simple and easy to play. Examples. Destroy creature. Actually, just destroy. Card type. Damage monster X. That doesn't even make sense, Asamatar. Like, if an opponent monster has profit and the player just decides to do something different, then they do something different. What are some other examples of sorceries? Damage player X. That's still not going to be simple. That's going to require a lot of mental overhead, and that's more than what I'm angling for. Like, having to track how many cards you've played this turn, which is gonna generally just be one, is kind of a pain. I could theoretically have something like that, but... yeah, Rot Storm would deal damage to all monsters. 1 damage of Rot... damage scaled by money. That's not how it works. Actually, no. Damage scaled by money is just buying a better deck. What else? Yeah, I think this is basically good. And to be a payoff for 1-cost deck that can play more than 5 cards per turn if the game is literally a draw. I mean, even if it's a payoff, it's mental overhead, and it's kind of goes against the spirit of keep it simple. Like, Lightning Strike is probably fine. That'd just be a weird way to do X. Ugh. The user is not seen. Having to like build stuff around that is potentially doable, but just like having keywords that key off other keywords is just a pain. It's exponentially more difficult to keep track of than just keyword do a thing. But it's fun. It's not. That's the core thing. Mental overhead make game less fun. Having to keep track of a lot of things in your head is less fun. It sounds more fun on paper because like, oh yeah, I can do all sorts of things and get payoff. But the process of getting that payoff is less fun inherently. That is just how human brains work. One of the reasons Dark Souls 2 was less popular because it actually has a lot of mental overhead in its combat system, which nobody really understood or how to apply it. How do elements interact? Like +1. Oh, we haven't decided that. You're right, Needles Cane. Elemental interaction rule. So we have elements and we have their matchups and we know how all this works. Like, let me put this up here. Drop it a bit. So we have elements and they have the interactions and certain things beat other elements. Red means that it is a primary weakness. Green means that it's a secondary weakness. So water is primarily strong against fire and secondarily strong against metal. Well, here's the thing about average gaming. Are you the majority? Is your mindset the majority of people that play video games? Because I can give you a definite I can give you a definite answer on that, but I'll leave you to figure that out. Israel? What do you mean Israel? Why do people like? Do none of you motherfuckers know how to count? Red +1 stat and mine is 1 stat 2 enemy. Green is only +1 stat. -1. Kind of, maybe? That's what I'm thinking. Maybe? Could be? Like, that's a simple way to do it. Reds give +2, greens give +1. That could be enough. Why is stone a girl? Bruh. Bruh. Okay, so what you're looking at for stone is the symbol for Earth. It's a cross coming out of a sphere. What you're thinking of girl symbol is the one over for plant vernant, which is the hand mirror of Venus. Like, stone is not a girl. Stone is Earth. Plant is a girl, the Venus symbol. Oh wait, did I? No, those are right. Those are right. I have those right. Think about big brain complex stuff. Also true, Sukosuto. But where was I going with this? Right, so I want to figure out what these actually do and how they interact with spells. Like, I guess if an equipment has an element and it deals damage to a creature with an element, like if you try to equip fire equipment onto a metal creature, it won't work. Yes, fire is Mars, which is a symbol for men. Like, you have a if you have a thing that gives +2 number, that's fire elemental, and you equip it to a metal creature, I think it should receive a total of +0. Does that sound reasonable to everyone? It makes sense in my head to me. Equipment, if it has an element, Or maybe it should be opposite. Like, if you equip a fire thing to a metal guy, he gets an extra +2, and it's water that makes it bad. I feel like it might make more sense. Attacked by monsters weak to it instantly destroyed. Yeah, I mean, that is an option. That could happen. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be fun. Like, imagine having your meteor black dragon. Actually, no, that does sound kind of awesome. If you get a big monster and you can just beat it with any element, that does sound fucking awesome, actually. Yeah, no, I think red should just be instantly defeat. Drop that down. At end of damage calculation, primary weakness. That is not an avatar thing, it's Avatar. That is just an innate property of monsters. Monsters are either mono-elemental, pick an element when they drop in, or count as multiple elements at the same time. That's just the thing monsters have. Primary weakness defeats instantly regardless of number. Secondary weakness adds +2 number. Equip PPD. Sorcery. PPD. Do monsters have HP bars? No, monsters have number. If they take more number than they have number in a given turn, then they are destroyed. But it's a matter of turn. This comes back at end of turn. All field cards are innately an element which controls what they enhance / weaken. Traps. Enchantment. So, chat, what happens if you equip the fire sword onto the water slime? Or water elemental? Let's go with that. You got flaming sword and you equip it to water elemental. What does that do? Flaming sword normally raises number. A water sword giving a +1 fire guy, a -3 water guy, a +3 is more interesting. What? Creates steam. Number either go up or go down. It lowers number. That makes sense. On primary weakness, benefits become negative. Like, if a fire sword gives +2 and you equip it to a water monster, it becomes -2. Would that make more sense on a... Would -2 make more sense on a metal monster, I think? I think secondary type should be halved. Secondary weakness halves potency. So if you equipped a fire sword, which is +2 onto a green creature, a verdant creature, it would instead only be +1. Half rounded up, half rounded wherever. It's fine. I have not put in cursed equipment because I don't see how it's that much better than, like, enchant. It feels kind of weird. Plus, like, how do you forcibly equip things to your opponent? In Yu-Gi-Oh, you can only equip your own monsters to begin with. In fact, I don't think you can even equip things to opponent monsters in Magic the Gathering either. Actually, things that just give -2 would be quite interesting with the weakness thing. Like, you just have a sword that gives -2, but it's like grass elements, and you apply it to like metal, then the metal thing would get like +2. There are effects that let you equip to, but they can't innately equip to opponent, right? You can equip to anything. Really? You can equip like dark energy to anything in like mainline Yu-Gi-Oh? Well, you can't do that in Forbidden Memories, which is what this game mostly is based off of. That's the Yu-Gi-Oh! To which I was referring. No, my rules, you cannot equip opponent monster when you have an effect that says so. Dark World Shackles. It's not a card in Forbidden Memories. Curse equipment could be an extension of traps. Maybe you could have a trap that curse equips, that curse turns into an equipment and equips itself to something, maybe. But I like the idea of cursed equipment that simply just gives a -2, and let the player figure out what to do with it. FM has no standard anything? Yeah, and this is an FM-based game, so. Like, if I wanted to make a game model on real life Yu-Gi-Oh, I wouldn't be me, and I would, that's not how I exist. Like, that'd be a different person. Sorcery. On primary weakness, destroy target, regardless of if beneficial or not. Reverse trap, reverse equip buffs. Yeah, like you could reverse trap yourself potentially. I think that would be neat. Yeah, I'm thinking like if you cast Healing Water on a fire type monster, you just kill it instead of healing it. I think that would be funny. On secondary, have potency. How do you have elemental interaction with traps, which are going to be widely non-standard? Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be in there. But the same principle would apply. If you have something that gives rot, it would instead take rot away. Yeah, Sword and Shield is great. Oh, speaking of, I actually did go back and look up what Labyrinth Wall's attacks actually fucking are, because I was so curious. It creates a laser grid underneath the target that then just, like, shoots lasers at them. User can debuff enemy monsters. That's not really... What? What would have that keyword? And what is the user? Yeah, I think casting Healing Water on a metal type would only heal it for half, or casting Healing Water on a fire type destroys it. I think that would be fine. But traps? What the fuck do you do with a trap? This does give a lot of creature removal, because anything that has an effect, if it targets a creature, can be used to destroy a specific type of creature. Yeah, Blight Witch would just have rot. Which, I mean, that's fine. And then if you equip have something like gives it rot touch, but it's of the wrong element, it would lose rot. What code programming type is this even? Because this ain't Java. This is not coding. This is planning. RenP is Python, though, if that's what you're asking about. Like, should traps... This isn't programming at all. This is just planning. What should traps do? One rot damage to all attackers. Like, that's an example of what a trap could do. I guess we could go with instantly destroy. If primary weakness... If super... If primary... If same type... Effect plus 50%, I think. Same for equips. I think getting a 50% boost if you use like thing on thing makes a lot of sense. You can have just like a bunch of water sorceries and a bunch of water creatures and just have a deck that works better. Yeah, I'm not asking for trap cards. I'm asking how traps will interact with elements. Secondary have or double. Secondary double. Same type have. If resisted, no effect. If secondary resisted, have effect. I think that makes sense. Like if you cast Fireball on a water type, it won't do anything. But if you cast it on a lightning type, it would deal half. Alrighty, the silly mantis. You're not gonna miss much. We're getting closing on the end. What the hell? How the hell should enchantments interact with stuff? Obviously, an enchantment that simply is destroy all things of type is no good. Did we already escape? No, that'll probably be next week. Maybe more of this next week does well. We'll see. Enchantment. Like, a single sample enchantment that would obviously be simple would be like Glorious Anthem, creatures you control get +1 number. I guess it could work like equips. Like, equips seem fine. Like, just take it and apply the same math that equips have, it'll probably just be fine, right? So the enchantment is basically an equip for everything on the field, right? You know what? I like your thinking, Above Average Gaming. We should have enchantments have a single slot. Single enchantment slot. Playing a second combined with the first. Like if you had Glorious Anthem, which raised everyone's like attack, and then you combined it with like Burning Passion or whatever, then you get Glorious Passion, which raises everyone's attack even harder. I don't know, the LM decides. But I think having an enchantment zone and a field zone, 5 slots for magic zones, 5 slots for creatures. I think that's fine, right? You could then have like the playfield simply be 6 cards wide, maybe? Yeah, I think each player should have their own enchantment zone. And then there should be a single field zone, the center. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're doing fields combined because the AI can handle it and it's cool as hell. So flood plus plains means flooded plains. Which does whatever the LM thinks makes sense. That sounds really powerful, but does literally nothing. Paragon. Effects unknown. Only on cards with a mana cost of 6 or higher. No effect. How's that really? Because I think that's funny. You only have it on creatures that are impossible to actually play. Oh, no, maybe 7 or higher. 7 or higher. Yeah, I think that about covers it. Okay, and with that, I think I will end stream because I'm feeling sleepy. Plus, I finished the tea. So, who is online? I can read Fuzz. Doing piano stuff. Kukuleta is doing Voice of the Voice. Are anyone doing Cradle and Nightmare? There's a single soul doing Cradle and Nightmare. There you know, Soul's playing Cradle and Nightmare. Alright. I don't want to raid Esri. We always raid Esri. Oh, dude. Manuel is doing Power Stone. I fucking love Power Stone. Sorry, let's raid Cuckoo. Raid Cuckoo later. Cuckoo later VT. Alrighty. And on Sunday, we will be continuing Elden Ring with Woozle. And probably exploring Mount Gelmir finally. Maybe Volcano Manor, maybe both. We're probably going to go to his first Hero's Grave, and he's going to get hit by a truck repeatedly, and I think that'll be really funny, so make sure to watch. And I'm still not decided on what I want to do for the next Wednesday stream. I don't want to go back quite to Cradle of Nightmares just yet. Oh yeah, the Cradle of Nightmares public patch is probably dropping later tonight, might be early tomorrow morning. But that about covers it. Yes, and a very trench warfare to you too. You know, this would be on a Friday. Well, I could do this on Wednesday, I guess. Oh yeah, go, get out. Out. I'll yell out. Bye, go.